Okay, my name is Sheikh Ibrahim Lethome. I am from the Supreme Council of Kenya Muslims, a religious scholar and also a lawyer by profession, and a member of the Interreligious Council of Kenya, and also a board member of the Green Faith, that is the international board of Green Faith. And as you know, Green Faith is a grassroots movement for climate, which is spearheaded by religious leaders. And why religious leaders? Is because we feel we have a responsibility as the custodians of the teachings of God from the different faith communities that we belong to. We have a responsibilities about talking about bad things happening in this world, and also a responsibility to ensure that the gift of the environment that God has given us is restored, not only for our sake, but for the sake of the future generation. And that's why we feel we have a duty, a God-sent duty, to talk against anything that is going to affect the climate negatively. So that's why we are here today, because of what is happening in Tanzania and Uganda about the crude oil pipeline and the negative effects that is going to have on the environment, on the lives of people, and in solidarity with the religious leaders in those countries and religious leaders all over the world who are talking against pollution of the environment. That's why we are here today. More importantly, we don't want just to make noise. It's not just energy that we are bringing up here, but what we are bringing on the table are the facts. And that's why we are here to brainstorm and find out, get the facts right, so that when we talk against this project and any other project, we'll talk from the point of information. And that's why we are here today.
Okay, Sheikh. What are some of the initiatives that you as a religious leader you are diving into to solve this problem that we are having right now, especially the air quality?
One of the initiatives is to sensitize our peoples using the various platforms that we have. We have the churches, we have the mosques, the synagogues, and other places of worship. And you know, we have a sizable number of people who come to our places of worship. So we are using that to sensitize our people. We are also asking experts and different stakeholders to come up and talk against these projects. We also know that a project like this cannot succeed if it is not funded. We have people who fund projects like this. We are talking to them. We are also talking to governments that are concerned, whether they are governments that are financing these projects or they host the companies that are behind these projects. So this is what we are doing.
Okay.
Yep.
And then as a member of, you're saying that you're
Green
a
Faith.
member
Yes.
of Green Faith
Yes.
organization.
Yes.
Sheikh, have you tried approaching the government or rather the three governments that are involved, rather than going to the source, because they are the ones who will actually be the benefactor, or they are the ones who will experience the pinch of the air quality?
Yeah. For these particular projects, you know, this is now the beginning of the many sittings that we are going to have. And of course, definitely, when we talk about stakeholders, the governments involved are also key stakeholders, and we are going to talk to them also. So we are strategizing on the best way, the best approach, but definitely on the list of strategic stakeholders that we have to engage, the governments are top on the list.
The government are top.
Yes, yes.
The government may argue that this is bringing development closer to people.
Very good.
How do you counter that one?
And that's why we said we want to have our facts right, and also not only that, when we oppose a project, we also propose an alternative. Because development, yes, we support development, we are not against development, but at what expense? Is it development at the expense of the environment? Development at the expense of people being displaced? We say no. So we'll also table the alternative, and that's why we are in these discussions.
And I would really love to know the alternatives, because this is someone else's business that you are trying to, you know, like trying to stop in a way. So what are some of the alternatives that maybe you are proposing?
Look at the world and the direction the world is taking, even in the motor vehicle industry. I'm sure even in our roads now you can see hybrid vehicles and electric vehicles. There are so many alternatives, like the green energy that we have. So there are many sources of energy that we can exploit and especially in Africa. We have the solar energy, which is a renewable and also it does not affect the environment. We have the wind energy. So there are so many alternatives. So what we are going to do is package the alternatives we think are going to work instead of using crude oil and also having that pipeline. But the alternatives are so many.
So what happens to our own crude oil in Turkana if we stop that?
We are also against it also if it's going to affect the people negatively. What is bad for the people of Uganda and Tanzania is also bad for our people. So the same thing that we're going to do.
And then I have one more question.
Yes.
With COP27 just around the corner.
Yes, in November.
So, yes, November. So
yeah.
what are some of maybe your the things that you would want as Green Faith organizations
yes.
to be addressed there? Because other organizations they also they've been putting across their demands. So what are some of your demands?
Of course, some of our demands is to make sure that the governments do not support projects that end up polluting the environment, displacing people, and also affecting climate change negatively. So those are some of our demands, without going into specifics. But generally, those are our demands, and this is what we are taking to COP27. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.